Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm trying
Surprising
to
everyone
silence
and
my
jumping
phone.
in early.
Yay. Hi,
Well, good
Joey.
morning,
Hi,
everybody.
guys. How are you?
Very good. Very good. I'm trying to pull up my Bead Maker Lounge.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Bead Maker and Coffee with Sydney, and today we have the amazing Joey Balinski of
So fun.
at
Too kind.
Jay Balinski of
That's me.
All
that's it,
right.
and also of the Keeping It Real Detail podcast. Let's not forget.
Yes.
And then today is December 18th. This is our sort of accidental Christmas episode,
Yeah.
since we won't have one for a few weeks.
Right.
And then yeah, that's it. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Tony. You look nice and cozy in your little hat.
Yes, my lovely rag company provided hat. I think I got for Christmas last year. So
That's
it was very
awesome.
cold this morning, and I already met a client out in the driveway. It's like
Nice.
35
This early.
degrees. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. I did it last night. I was like, bring it last night.
he works nights for Amazon, and so he's like, I'm coming in
Nice.
at 6:15 a.m. I'm like, well, I can't talk long because I have a
Oh my
podcast.
gosh.
Yeah,
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
that's wild.
Crazy. Crazy. All right. Well, let's jump into it. So let's jump in real quick before we get into our story. Any like new news from the last week, right? Well, obviously part of it is what we're here to talk about today, but um other than that, we it's been a crazy couple weeks, right? I cannot believe I was telling Joey Tony before you came on that I can't believe it's been 2 weeks since the last Beat
Yeah.
Maker Coffee. Nuts,
It was
nuts.
longer.
So yeah, so nuts. So quick show note too, just so that I don't forget this later. It will actually be 3 weeks before our next Bead Maker and Coffee because we have the holidays both fall on a Monday, right? So just
Yes.
because of next year's schedule, it actually works better to just skip that week. So we'll be back in 3 weeks. So first show note
Which will
there.
be the
Um,
8th of
yeah, yeah.
January, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, just due to like MTE and stuff, it works out better to not like I think last year we tried to do it like on a Tuesday and it just works better to skip a week. So we're just going to wait until the 8th. So we will be back on the 8th. So this is our official last episode of the year, which is crazy. Can't believe that. Um,
Yep.
let's see, what else did we do before we get into 2 weeks ago? So last week, Tony and I were in Hayward for the
Yes.
annual PNS. We got to join the warehouse Christmas party. So we got to fly out to Hayward for the day, the whole team PNS, Rennie, Chris, Keith, we all were there. And we went K1 go kart racing. And one of the people in this podcast was one of the fastest, and one of us was one of the slowest. So,
We'll leave that up to the audience
yeah,
to
we'll leave
decide.
that up to imagination. So that was super fun. So yeah, it's been a crazy 2 weeks, but good. So let's
Yes.
talk about 2 weeks ago from today. So we met on Bead Maker and Coffee 2 weeks ago exactly, and it was kind of a mystery of what we were all doing in Hayward, right?
A
So obviously,
mystery.
so yeah, so all of that, yeah, it was such a mystery. But so we such a great day though. So we are here today. I want to hear all about, so for those that don't know, Joey got to join us for the day. So he was kind of a fly on the wall, if you will, for the whole day. So as we know, Tony had training, did a 1 day extreme that was awesome, and then Jamie was with us and we mixed up the first batch of Clean Maker. So fun. If you have not seen the video, you have to go watch it. It's been everywhere, literally everywhere.
It
So if
has.
you've missed it, I'm not sure how, but if you did, go to Jamie's YouTube and check that out. So um, Clean Maker. So Clean Maker came out. That was so fun, and he is an absolute rock star at editing and all of that stuff. So once we left there, um, I remember Bob thinking, "Oh yeah, we'll put this out sometime in January." And it was like, "Oh no, like Friday this
Like the
week."
end of the
Yeah, I
week.
think
Yeah,
Jamie
like
had
Yeah.
the
the end of
videos
this
like
week.
ready to go. They were
Yeah.
recorded and ready to go.
Yeah, and then it was so funny because then Jamie gave us no Friday, like I'm putting it out on Friday, and then Bob was like, "Okay, okay." And then like Wednesday night it was like, "How about tomorrow?" Like Jamie was ready to go. So it came out on Thursday. So it came out, I mean, 72 hours after we left Hayward, which was so crazy. So um set off a whole whirlwind, on our website and stuff. So, real quick, I will say if you have not gotten your bottle of Clean Maker yet, do. I know that it's over a third gone. Um, Very, very awesome. And obviously, it all, helps uh, Jamie. And so it is only available on the PNS website, so psdetailproducts.com. Please use the promo code Jamie10. That will get you 10% off of Clean Maker, but also 10% off of everything else that you get at PNS Detail Products. So if there's anything else you need, make sure to grab it. All of it, helps Jamie in his efforts for PNS, which is great. He's done so much to help our brand and can't say thank you enough. So, Joey, tell us how your Monday went 2 weeks ago.
First off, I was so excited to get the product that I forgot to use the code. So,
Oh yeah, so many people. So many
I
people
paid
that
full
first day.
price for that thing.
Yeah.
But to support
Nice.
my buddy, I'll do it. I had a great time. So first of all, thank you guys for inviting me in the first place. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Drove 2 hours down. It's not that far of a drive. Drove 2 hours down, and first thing I did was I parked in the wrong spot, and I ended up at the storefront for PNS. But I was thankful because I did have to use the restroom after a long drive, so that was great. And then I drove around back to where the training facility was, and didn't know. I walked in through the I guess like the loading doors instead of like the main training. So I was like, I don't even know where I'm supposed to be right now. But I heard Tony's voice, so I followed the sound of his voice. I went over to the training center, a whole bunch of people. Didn't expect Tony to stop the entire class and kind of introduce me as some local celebrity. I was not ready for that because that's far from the truth. And that was fun because we've been in a group chat for a long time, like Jamie, Tony, and I, but we had never met in person. So it was nice. It was nice on a bunch of levels to visit PNS, see what a professional training facility looks like, meet Tony, meet you, meet Jamie. It was a blast when I first walked in there.
Yes, so fun, so fun. And Tony's great. I mean,
yes, he knows what he's doing.
He's hilarious, but I love watching Tony train. I know you're here, Tony, and that's weird to talk about that, but I love to watch Tony train. He is it's just so great, right? Because we all know Tony is like a little goofball, but
yes,
so great. I mean, such a great trainer, and I just love it. So
he asked me many times to do the roof and the windshield of that Navigator, which
yes.
I didn't want to, I wasn't part of the training class, so I don't want to take any credit for that. So that's I politely declined.
Yeah.
It's always a joke every class. Obviously I'm, a little on the inseam challenged side, we'll say. And and so like I'll look around at some point, especially when we have a taller vehicle, and I'm like, I pick the tallest guy, and it's like, sorry, Steven, you get to be the roof guy today. And we didn't have one of those. 9 people in the class, everybody was on, the shorter end. And so when Joey showed up, it was really fantastic in theory. Except he refused to help. So yeah, unfortunately.
I didn't refuse. I just didn't want to take the opportunity away from the trainees who paid for their class and all of that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, after the training, I got to just kind of I got a whole tour of the facility, which is just wild to see. Just vats and vats of raw materials, and then to actually see one come to fruition from start to finish in the bottling and all of that. That was just a very cool process. Like you would imagine, like I told a bunch of people that for being such a large company, it still operates like such a small company.
So small. Yep.
And I think that is a benefit in many ways. You get to see everything from start to finish, and that's just awesome.
Yeah.
I will say though, everywhere I looked, I would have thought you guys are like also a label manufacturer, because you guys have rooms and rooms of labels everywhere.
Yes.
It's wild.
Yep.
Shelves and shelves.
Yes.
Some you didn't even see, I'm sure.
Yeah. I saw a lot because I probably saw more than you. So, I just.
Whoa, hey. Whoa. You know what? Hey, come on. I'm just gonna get him out of here. Just turn him off.
That's so funny. I think that is such a cool part of, I love when people come to PNS for the first time, because I think we just don't know what to expect. It's very different from the videos that are posted online. Nothing really looks like that.
Yep.
So I remember going the first time, and I thought it was so, it's just so like special. It's
Yes.
so unique, and you would expect like um some kind of crazy production place, right?
Hmm.
Where everything is white and tubes everywhere and
Clean
stuff. And it's,
rooms and
yeah,
yeah.
it's not like that. It's just totally organic and, family. And I mean, all the warehouse workers are so personable. And yeah, it's just truly a special place. Like for me, I describe it as like for detailers going to Disneyland,
Yeah,
right?
you can tell there's a
Because,
lot of history in the place.
yeah,
You're not just
yeah,
going to some brand new building that,
right.
they've got state of the art everything. No, it's like
Yeah,
this works that,
right.
we're not gonna
Yep.
change anything if it's not broken.
Exactly, exactly. So,
Yeah.
so fun. It's so fun to go there, and just I think just to realize that it really is just, you know, like it's made there. I know,
Yeah.
you always hear rumors in the industry and stuff, and people say this and that, and it's like you go there and you're like, no, they make it. It's
Yep.
it's made there,
Yep.
I think it's
I
super fun.
saw the tanks with my own eyes.
Yep, yep. And then tell us about, because I think this is really cool. I know there's a lot of people that, there's those of us that have followed Jamie since
Yes.
before he was even a detailer, right? I met Jamie online when he was just a fan of the rag company, and was
Mhm.
thinking about getting into detailing. So I think for those of us that have watched his journey from the beginning, Monday was really exciting.
It
I
was.
know to watch, I think to watch his face and to watch the reality of all of that, for it to come together, to be bottled, to watch him do his thing behind the camera, that I know for me it was absolutely amazing. So what was that like for you to see, knowing his history and knowing him before he was, JTC? How did you feel about that?
I think he was hiding a little bit of his excitement for
Yeah,
the camera
I could
because, like,
see it
I would have
though. I
been.
could see it. Yeah.
Yeah, you could see the little glimmer in his
Yeah.
eye, but
Yeah.
I would be bouncing off the walls with excitement, but
Yeah.
it was amazing to see the creative process as well.
Mhm.
Like, I joke around and say, like, I was behind you filming some C-roll while you guys
Mhm.
were filming
Yep.
some B-roll,
Yep.
and, it was just wild to see the creative process.
Mhm.
He can get things done in a single take, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
probably couldn't even say my name, like, "Hey, I'm Joe," like, I would
Mhm.
stutter at some point on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was amazing, but also
Mhm.
just, like, even though we'd only been, communicating, like, in the TRC chat, in this
Mhm.
chat, in our group chat, it was, finally meeting in person, it was like we had known each other for a while,
Yep.
so I felt
Yeah.
like a very, like, proud friend to
Yeah.
see his creation come to fruition,
Yeah.
just with the support of all of you guys, and then
Mhm.
to I've learned a lot from Jamie. I've learned a lot from you guys. I've learned from Bob, from Dave. So to meet all of them in person, I was like, this
Mhm.
is, this is like a dream come true
Yeah.
to meet these people who've taught me so much. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
really cool to see everything from, like you said, like that fly on the wall
Mhm.
experience, to be
Mhm.
in Dave's
Mhm.
office,
Yeah.
like it was cool. It was very
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. And aren't Bob and Dave great?
Oh, they're great
It's
people.
just so
Everyone I
great.
met there, it
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
amazing, and I told other people this too, that I'm pretty sure that I met every employee that was there that day.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's how tight knit of a company it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
And Bob knows everyone's name. Bob knows how to do everyone's job. Basically, it was you don't see many
Right.
business owners or presidents who are still in touch like that. So that was really
Mhm.
cool to see too.
Yeah, yeah. It was a great day. It was just really, really awesome. It
Yes,
was great to have Tony with us. I was glad that, he was doing training, and it was just, and
We made it happen.
we even heard from a couple of the trainees just talking about what an awesome day it was, and for them to see that, to be there and witness that kind of stuff. I think most of them knew who Jamie was, and then and what about Jamie's presentation to them? Right, that was
yep, that was pretty
amazing.
cool. I didn't even know that was
Um,
happening. I just walked in and I was like, "Oh, he's giving a little
yeah,
show here." So that was pretty
yeah,
cool.
and he had never done that before, so that was really cool too. That
Yeah.
was like, I was so proud of him as a friend, so proud, so awesome. It was
Yes.
a great day. It was a great day.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Bob and Dave, for putting that together for all of us to experience. Along with Jamie, it was just really, really cool.
I didn't know what to expect. Like, when I walked in, I was like, "They're gonna have this entire, like, script down and, like, it's gonna be running around," but, like, a lot of it was just
On
freestyle
the
right
fly,
off the
yeah.
top of your head.
Yep,
It
yep.
was inspiring. Like, I'm pretty sure that week I was like, make a video and edit it on my phone like Jamie. And I was like, this is actually not that hard.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So great.
He makes
It
it
was
look
so
easy
great.
though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tony, how'd you feel about it? You have been friends with Jamie as long as I have, back when
It,
we
it
were all rag
It
company.
was really, really cool, and, like,
Yeah.
like we probably said, or at least maybe not on this show, but in a couple, like, in front of the camera, he's obviously amazing, but
Mhm.
then when the camera shuts off, he's a slightly little bit of a quieter guy,
Uh-huh. Yep.
and so, and me, I'm always, wanting everyone to have a great time, so, I'm observing from the outside, and doing my training class and everything like that, but every
Mhm.
time he came around, he was, sorry to put you on the spot there, Jamie, but he's grinning and he's all like energetic and excited.
Yeah.
And so you could tell he was happy with the way things were going and having a good time. And
Yeah.
it just was so cool to watch.
Mhm.
And it's what's funny too is when you meet all these people, especially for the first time. And I know Jamie had been up there before, but Joey,
Mhm.
you were visiting for the first time.
Mhm.
Everybody's just, as silly as this is to say, like everybody is just regular people.
Mhm.
Mhm.
uh, Bob is regular people.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so even being animated and whatever, we're joking with him and messing around, and
Mhm.
half the day was just us coming up with ideas and being silly. And even in my,
Mhm.
the beginning of my training class for the day, I have all these students here, and it's like, hey, we've got 9 people, we've got a huge laundry list of stuff we all want to get to,
Mhm.
but let's just like fly by the seat of our pants
Yeah.
here, and what does everyone want to do the most? And so even
Mhm.
the training class was just kind of off
Freestyle.
the cuff,
Yep.
freestyle,
Yep.
exactly. And so but I think we made it work, and we got some feedback from some students that were very happy, and obviously it all kind of went off without a hitch, which was
Mhm.
really fun. um
So great.
and just,
So
yeah,
great.
very cool.
The car looked great when they were done. So they
Yep.
testament to them.
Yeah.
They did a good job. And
Well,
testament
what
to you,
was
you trained them well.
Mhm.
but yeah, they don't always turn out awesome, but this one turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it looks
But it
good.
was funny too, seeing all the media come out afterwards, because all of a sudden that navigator was in a few of the clips that Jamie
Mhm.
used, to show the application of Clean Maker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where was I? I didn't even see him film
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, you're welcome for the beautiful backdrop,
Yeah. I thought I was following them the entire day. And I was like, I wasn't there for that. Where was I for
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that
I'm
was
like,
cool.
when did
Like they
that even
snuck
happen?
off at some point.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's so funny because when the video came out, the first one where he announced it and he was standing there, and I thought, now how did he already get a car that looked like that in his shop? And I was so confused. And then I was like, wait, that was it. So totally. I was like, wait, that's in the training. Oh, that's that black. And I was like, when did this clip
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah. He's
But you
quick,
know
man.
what's
He
sad
puts
is
that
I was the
content
one
out
that filmed
fast.
it and I still don't
I was
remember
gonna
it.
say you were probably holding the camera.
I was, but I don't remember it. It happened so fast. So I don't
Yeah.
remember it. But yeah.
Sydney's also
So
very good with at least I noticed from like when you're creating clips, like when
mhm.
to like stop and so you don't have to deal
Right.
with too long of a clip to trim,
Yeah.
which I was like,
Yeah.
that's a good little tip right there.
Yep. Yep. So
I'm gonna
good.
steal that.
Oh, it was like one of my favorite days. Favorite days. So
Yes.
good.
It was a
So
good
good.
time.
So congratulations again, Jamie. I do see that he's in the comments this morning. So it's so fun. So fun. And so everybody, if you haven't gotten your bottle, please go do that. Definitely, a collector's item for sure. And
Hmm.
just, not only, I mean, it's also just, I think it's so cool that, it's giving back to somebody in the industry. And I think it's just something I've never seen happen before. And I
Hmm.
just think it's so cool that, a company would, break all their own rules and just let somebody go wild like that. And I love that. I totally love that. So congratulations again, Jamie. We're so happy to be there with you.
Yep.
All right. So let's get into, because we are 20 minutes in, let's get into our favorite product of the week. So Joey, you are up first. And you don't necessarily have to say a PNS product, but I know you do love PNS products. So what is your favorite product that you used last week, either on your own car or in your house? Love it all.
Honestly, my new obsession is I have so much brake buster, and I'm like, I can only dilute it so much. I can only use it like in the spray
Yeah.
bottle straight so much. So
Right.
I have a few extra foam cannons.
Mhm.
So I decided to designate one to just straight brake buster, and it's just
Nice.
hanging out. And
Nice.
to just foam it on real thick, like I can like knock 2 wheels out at once, let one dwell while I'm doing the other one. That's just like been my way to do like, you know, my maintenance on my wheels now is to just foam it on straight. So brake buster's been my go-to, and then obviously Clean Maker. So
nice. Yes, of course, Clean Maker. So great. You know, funny story about my Clean Maker. So I've always had my old bottle, right? This is the bottle that I made originally when Jamie started making the mix. And it was funny, you know, my daughter works in my shop, and the other night she said, I wasn't here when I was K1 racing, and she said, "What do I do the final wipe with?" And I said, "Clean Maker." And I came home and she actually used my new bottle. I was like,
no. At least it's got the recipe on the back, right?
Yes, yes, and I know how to make it. But I was like, that's like the real stuff that was made like at PNS, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I haven't sprayed any of my bottle. I've got my big IK full of my big batch of it. So
nice. Yeah, so I speaking of brake buster and IKs, I've always been like, I like the IK smaller ones, but my Pro 12, I'm the worst. I don't like to clean them out. I don't like to use Target water. So I have a lot of filter issues. And so it clogs up. It doesn't work. I can never make it look like Jamie does. So I got a couple more IKs, big ones that I'm going to try to change the filter and maybe be a little bit more responsible with my use of them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try that because I think, you know, I really love like crystal wash and then you spray the brake buster over it. It's so great, but I'm so bad about the IKs. I'm not blaming IK. It's totally a Sydni issue. I'm so bad at them.
I for a while was not using my hand pump ones just because I was like, I'm too lazy to do this. But also like I had used them so much that they were hard to pump and they were loud. So there was one day I just took them apart, like you said, changed filters. I lubed up the pump, and now everything is just buttery smooth. So I actually used it over the weekend, and I was like, maybe I'll start using this again, like now that it's working the way it should.
Yeah. And I got to figure out the Schrader valve thing. That was lost on me from the beginning. I don't know what that means. Do you use like a bike pump tire? I don't know how to do
air
it.
compressor. Just
no, I have an air compressor, but I can't figure out what attachment goes to it.
I'll build you one. I've been making these little like quick disconnect ones that you just shove on the end of the IK Pro that has it, and it works great.
I can't figure it out. So I'm always like, what goes on here?
Yeah, like you don't want to pump that by hand.
No. Very cool. Well, so my product that I think that I just love so much, I'm just going to say Crystal Wash again. I love Crystal Wash so much. I know it makes a big buzz, but I love that we get so many questions about it because I love talking about it. And again, Jamie had a video come out where he talked to Dave about Crystal Wash. And you know, now that we're into like the winter and we have like such the nasty streets around here and stuff, man, it just makes my life so much easier when washing cars. So I just, you know, because before I've always used it just on wheels. I haven't really been a big user on paint, but I've been starting to use it more on paint and I love it. I love to like spray it and walk away and that you don't have to worry about how long it sits on the car. Like I just love that. So I've been going through a lot more Crystal Wash than I did before. I used to kind of just love it so much on wheels. I didn't use it on paint, but loving it on paint right now. Love it. Love it.
Well, I'm gonna do my favorite chemical product here, and then dip out and let you guys chat and do questions.
Cool.
And I'm just gonna kick it up to the next level from Crystal Wash and say my product this week was actually Iron Buster.
Nice.
And I had such a terrible car. I had to use enough of it that I think I like the smell now.
Oh no!
I'm converted. Yeah, I kind of like.
Oh man, Eddie's gonna come in hot in a minute, and
Tony's got a Stockholm syndrome going on here.
Yeah, exactly, Stockholm syndrome. Like by the 25th spray, I'm like, by the 25th spray, I'm like, I'm kind of into it, and I get it. It's whispering to me with each one, like, "Hey, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Look at all this work I'm doing."
Keep growing your hair out and then get back to me on how you feel about the smell of Iron.
I've had a trigger break and it sprayed back in my face and my beard smelled like it all day.
I think I would like it. I need a candle, an Iron Buster scented candle. All right, well, I'll get out of you guys' way. Everybody ask questions in the chat for our guests, and I'll let you guys get to it.
Yes, bring the questions. So in case we didn't make it clear, Joey is a big PNS fan, right? You've used a lot of the products, so you know.
I have.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the TRC community for a while, so
Hmm.
you know, PNS is front and center there. So
Well known.
there's no way to escape it.
Great. Awesome. Eddie, so you do get props for waking up, but we are in Idaho, so it did start at 7:30, not 6:30. He woke
He's
up to see his fake host. So
so
Eddie,
jealous.
for those that don't know, Eddie is Joey's co-host on Keep It Real, and he's a little bitter that Joey's here this morning.
Eddie's kind of like my agent too. So I think if requests to borrow me don't go
Oh,
through him, that
oh,
might set
because
something
I
off.
came direct. Oops.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know
But
that.
I'm also
Sorry,
my own
Eddie.
person, so
Okay, good. So Eddie just thinks he's your agent.
we can keep him thinking that.
That's so great. So great. Terry, nice to see you. I wish Terry could have come by while we were in Hayward. He's always so busy. Alex, some may not notice, but I love the new holiday fonts for names.
It's
Me
the
too,
first thing
but
I
you know what?
noticed.
I love them too, but they're hard for me to read sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm quite a bit older.
there's that one cursive font on Instagram that I
Yeah,
refuse to use because I can't
right.
read it at
Yeah,
all.
yep, yep. Alex, I've been following Jamie since the inception of his pro wrestling dreams. Yes, I've heard all about that, and I need to see some pictures.
Oh,
I need
there's
to see
video
some
too.
pictures. Is there? I need to
Mm-hmm.
see that. Jamie is
Yeah,
legendary. The fix is
fix
in.
is
Yep,
in.
yep. It probably is. So great. All right, we've got Mario. Good morning from Quebec, Canada. Good morning. And the Rag
Good
Company
morning,
checking
Rat
in. Good morning,
Company.
team. That's usually Gabe.
Good morning,
Usually
Gabe.
Gabe
You guys
checking
got to
in.
do
Yes.
you guys got to team up on the live for TRC on the
Hmm.
Q&A last week, you and
Yep,
Jamie?
yep, yep. We did. So Jamie's been on actually the TRC Q&A with me the last 2 weeks.
That's
So we
right.
were both co-hosts 2 weeks ago, and then last week we were doing, yeah, like a practice live, getting ready for
Nice.
TRCMA. We have to kind of work all the bugs out with all the audio equipment stuff. So yeah, that was fun. Always
Yeah.
good. Yes, Gabe is in the house. Gabe's in always in early. Alex, Jamie's certainly not shy when it comes to walking into a chip cookie. Oh, the chip cookie. I can't wait to experience that again. There was a chip cookie here in Boise, and one night we went out on a walk to Chip Cookie. There was about 20 of us, and it was 2 minutes before closing time. So you can only imagine the two girls working in there who were sold out of cookies, and 20 people walk in that look like they mean business, right? And
They want
it,
some
yeah,
cookies.
yeah, it was a little stressful. I think they
I
were
haven't
ready
had
to call
chip
the
cookie.
police. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. The Clean Maker labels, you can get them at psdetailproducts.com. Not the labels, you got to get the whole bottle.
Joey Don't Cap from EC Details. I'm probably lying about the Breakbuster, but I can go grab the foam cannon full of Breakbuster right now. I have receipts, Eddie.
That is so funny. Oh, I got my Clean Maker and it's next to my Sydney signed Bead Maker bottle. Full groupie status. That is awesome. I had to
So
see who that
jealous
came from.
that I forgot
That
to
is
grab
awesome.
one before I left.
No, I'm shipping you one though. I
Oh, I
am.
appreciate it.
I'm shipping you one. Oh, that was
Feel
Lindsay that said that. Yes.
feel
I'm
like I need
shipping
all
you
my
one.
limited edition
Yep.
bottles lined up next to each other
Yep.
as well.
Delaney is banned from the shop now. Oh, Delaney. She thinks she owns the shop. I get relegated to the third bay if Delaney's working. Luke Berge, I got a
He
case
did.
of Clean Maker. You are awesome.
I did see all 12 of those being
Oh
unboxed.
my gosh, that's amazing. Oh, the
He was a
cat
little
just left us.
upset that his shipping label was on top of the Clean Maker label on the outside of the
Oh,
box.
bummer. Oh, that's
So,
weird.
yeah,
That's weird.
he wanted the
Usually they put them
collector's
on the
item.
top. Yeah. Well, we can we can ship him another one of those
There's
to
plenty
put
of
back
labels.
over.
I've seen them.
There was plenty of the box labels. We saw them all running through the machine. Uh, oh, that scared me. I thought there was a raccoon outside. I could see my dog's reflection. Same fitting as what used to fill a car tire. Mine didn't work, Alex. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I'll have to look because I had the car tire one on there, but it didn't seem to line up. So I'll have to look at that again.
He might be talking about Canadian tires.
Maybe they're different. Jamie says, Hans, just keep telling Bob you need that sweet, sweet label. Yeah, maybe we can just send labels. We'll ask about that because that's a rough one. All of our European friends cannot get the Clean Maker. Yes, Ethan, I want to try Crystal Wash with rinseless. It works great. And that actually brings up a good question. We get that a lot. People say, can you just spray it on, let it crystallize, and then wash with rinseless? I do it every single day.
Awesome.
Love it. Works very, very good. Yes, Eddie, he said Iron Buster. Eddie hates the smell of Iron Buster, unlike Tony. I'm indifferent about it. I don't love the smell by any means, but I also don't think it's the worst on the market.
No, there's worse.
So yeah, I mean, coming from the ones I used to use that shall remain nameless, it's way better. Crystal Wash is money. Yes.
I've got to try.
It does. Oh man, it does so much of the work for you. That's why I love it. It literally, you can't really hurt anything with it, and it makes whatever job you're doing, it just makes that job easier. It really does.
I think like in at least in my head, and I'm sure in other people's head, you hear crystals form on the surface, and then you go, well, then I can rinse this right out. Like it feels like you're scratching, like it,
but it's not
true.
Like, it's not
hard crystals.
Yeah. No, it's more like frost crystals. Yeah. New Crystal Wash label is going to be Jamie's face with a crown of crystals.
Jamie's going to be on every bottle soon.
I know. Jamie loves the Crystal Wash too. It's amazing. Jamie says, I sniff Iron Buster, and drink coffee. Ooh.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, but when you smell stuff like that, then you almost taste it, right? It's almost in your taste buds, and then it would make my coffee smell like...
That might be what he's into.
Oh, man. Maybe that's what gets him into fighting shape for the day.
Oh, my lovely wife is in the chat.
Oh, Coley. Eddie woke up and chose violence. He probably does most days, I think. He probably does most
Some
days.
of the first messages I read in the morning, I'm like, he is on a good one this morning.
Yep. And we didn't mention Coley was there the whole day too.
She was there.
She was amazing. She was amazing.
Yeah, she was a good sport about it all. I was like, she's definitely going to be bored, like 30 minutes into this, but she made it the whole day. So
the whole day,
props to her.
Yep, the whole day, even to shut down the restaurant, she made it with us. Which
yes,
awesome.
We did shut the restaurant down. I forgot about that. Last people there.
So great, so much fun. Thanks for sticking with us.
He's back.
I just wanted to say, I'll take a tiny bit of credit for Coley having such a good time there, because basically you guys showed up and then she and I teamed up on just making fun of Joey the whole time. So that was great. Yeah,
she did.
Yeah.
It was like when two old friends get together and they start clowning on you. I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah. Never met each other before, but we're like, let's make this guy. Yeah.
I think it has to do with Tony let her blow out some of the pads with the air compressor. So she was pretty stoked about that.
Yeah.
That is a fun art project, if you will. Or you're almost de-arting them because you clean them back to a nice clean surface again. Well, since I'm here and I'm interrupting, I want to introduce a new trial segment here, or maybe the name is the trial. I don't know. I think we've got it pretty much worked out. But like we'll come up with an audio stab here, like beep beep beep. This just in, breaking news. But we have our currently titled Moments of Internet Uncertainty segment here.
Okay.
And we get questions, via the various PNS social medias, emails, etc. every week. That sometimes, we don't get to answer directly to the person, or if we do, we still feel like they're good enough to bring to the show because they're good questions.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple for you guys, and we'll throw them out there.
All right.
So this week we had two come from the internet. One or emails rather, and one was, can you use Clarity Cream on plastic windows? For examples, the ones in like a soft top Jeep.
That's going to be a hard no.
Hard no.
Hard no. So, yes, we do get this question a lot. So, Clarity Cream, I know that a lot of people would think, back in the day, there was like that McGuire's plastic polish or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Like
sometimes people,
plastics or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people think that Clarity Cream would be like that. But Clarity Cream actually, I don't know if you guys have ever hit the paint with it, but it actually has like a lot of abrasives. It actually will haze the paint like crazy. It's easy to correct, so it doesn't cause any damage. But if you were to use that on a plastic Jeep window, for instance, it would scratch the ever living daylights out of it, and it would never recover. So definitely not for plastic. It is for glass only. Only glass and only the outside. The only time I've used it on an interior glass was on a like a 67 Nova, right? Where they have no tint. It's literally just glass. And that would only be if needed, but it's a glass only polish, definitely not a plastic polish. So for something like that, for Jeep windows, I really like to use things like you can use UCP, but actually my favorite one to use on those Jeep windows is actually Kyle's Boat and RV.
Oh, interesting.
Really gentle and kind of helps smooth out some of those scratches. Usually you're never going to get them totally clear again, but Kyle's Boat and RV really clears them up and does take away some of the light scratching.
Just taking the like yellowing away from it really makes a big
Yeah.
difference too.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're probably never going to get the scratches to go away, but if you can clear it up so you can see through it,
Yep.
really helps. Yeah. Yep. So
There
hard
you
no
go.
on the Clarity Cream.
Hard no. All right, our next one we've got is when using absolute rinseless wash in an IK Pro hand sprayer, what tip is recommended? He said that he still is going to use 256 to 1 for his chemical ratio, but there's obviously the 3 colored tips that come with those IK sprayers.
Yeah. Joey, you want to take this one or you
I'm
want me
trying
to?
to remember what color is in my sprayer because I think it's just whatever it
This is
came from the
almost a trick
factory with,
question.
and then just the clear little
It is
one
yep.
that you twist at the end.
Yep, it's actually a trick question.
The foam one has the colors,
Got
right?
it.
Right.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
now you got it. Yep. No foamer.
I was
Yes,
like, hold on a
exactly.
second.
You
Have
were
I
getting
ever
there.
changed the tip on that?
You were like, wait, hold on. Yeah, no, use the multi. So
Yes.
you don't put absolute in the foamer, and the foamer's the one that comes with the colored tips. Now, there is the hack out there where you can turn your foamer into a multi, but really for absolute, it doesn't foam, and so it's not going to really go on right. It's not really going to work right. So you really just want to use your absolute pre-rinse in your IK multi.
Yep.
That's the answer. Yep.
And now they have all of the multis and all of the sizes with the Schrader valves and all that stuff too.
Yep.
It's fairly new
And
stuff,
360.
but yeah, 360 all the way around. So
if you want to do handstands while you're spraying your absolute, you can do it.
Yep. I just got to use the 360 the other day. That was the first time.
That's right.
We saw it live on the show.
Yep. All right. Very cool. One more?
We've got one from Daryl on Instagram. He asked, he says he lives in southeast Wisconsin and they use salt on the roads. And which one of our coatings would hold up best for that environment?
Yeah. So, Joey, I'm assuming you guys don't get salt there on
What
the
is
roads,
that?
right? You just,
Like, I cook
I
with
know.
it.
I was like, you guys just have like sunshine in California all year
It
round.
was it's pouring rain right now, and the thunder in the middle of the night. Let me tell you, it was. I was like, we've got some weather going on.
Oh gosh.
It's a
So,
rare sight.
yeah, so I live in Idaho where we do have, the salt brines, the solid state salt, all the good stuff in the winter to keep the roads clear. And honestly, all of our coatings hold up very well. I would say the one that maybe doesn't is probably sole. If you've done sole by yourself, that one's going to struggle a little bit just because of the process necessary to get the salt off. But both Legend and Inspiration Classic do great. They really, really do. So that was one of my things. Obviously I've worked for PNS for several years, but I've used a lot of other coatings, and that is one of the benchmarks for me is that, these are my customers' cars, right? So I care what I put on them. And honestly, that is one of the benchmarks for me is it has to hold up in a car wash and it has to hold up to the salt. And if they don't, I just can't use them. And honestly, both Legend and Inspiration Classic are amazing. I mean, truly, truly, truly. I'm not just saying this because I'm a PNS fan. Truly amazing. They both do great. So I did struggle a little bit, usually right after the season, I would struggle if sole was the topper. Sometimes I would have to come back in and do another layer of sole. Now that we have Defender, that seems to be doing amazing. So definitely I would say, put a layer of Defender is a great idea just to put a sacrificial layer between the coating and the salt. Um, instead of using sole for that. And otherwise they hold up amazing. They may clog, but they're still under there.
Yep.
So as soon as you get them unclogged, all of the coatings hold up really, really well. Even the glass coating, view, mine's been on my Jeep now for 2 years, and my view is still in pretty good shape. Now I do maintain it with Defender, but the view is still there by itself. So very, very cool. So yeah, great question, because there is a lot of coatings out there that don't hold up well to the salt. And whatever the science is behind that, I'm sure Dave could explain, but both Classic and Legend do very well.
Eddie chimed in and said that Legend is holding up really well, and in his testing just requires a nice decon after winter.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And that's the
There you
thing.
go.
Like you might think that they're clogged, but once you do an EnviroClean or even Crystal Wash, I mean, it pops right back and the coating is still totally there. So yeah, love it. Thanks,
All right.
Eddie.
Well, I'll leave you with this.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Essence of Iron Buster coming. I'm gonna give that one a hard no as well, Ethan. No. No.
Nobody's asking for that.
Nobody's asking for that except for maybe Tony. All right, David here with, is Crystal Wash safe to use in direct sunlight? I'm outdoors and it will be hard to let it dry without direct sunlight. So here's the deal. It says not to use in direct sunlight on the bottle. I think that there's always all of these products, it's so hard to give a blanket answer because paint can be different paint systems. It can be in different condition. Is your clear coat already, failing? Is it already compromised? I mean, there's so many things that go into all of these questions because it really depends on how your car lives. But in the Crystal Wash video that I did on our YouTube channel, I was actually working on Carolyn Hennon's car, and it was hot outside, and I sprayed it in direct sunlight, and it was fine. Now, that being said, it's not like I left it on very long. It flash dried really quick. So I just worked in smaller sections. So that's what I would say is go ahead and do it, work in smaller sections. The other thing to keep in mind is the temperature of the panel. So if you're spraying it on a super hot panel, that may not be really ideal either, because what you're not wanting it to do is etch into the paint, right?
Yeah.
The spots. So you want it to have a somewhat of a natural drying, not a flash dry.
Yeah.
So if the panel's super hot, I don't know, I would try to move it into shade. I think that all detailing is best in some shade.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Good tip to never spray anything on a super hot panel. I mean, I've sprayed things and I've watched it literally vaporize as soon as it touches, and I'm like, that's probably not good. So
and
then
I mean, if you can spray water on a hot panel and damage it, I mean, it's just the temperature of the panel, and I say this all the time, the temperature of the panel is more important than whatever the actual temperature in the air and stuff. So if you've just pulled the car out of a garage and you're working in direct sunlight, you're probably fine.
But Jamie's recent Crystal Wash video, he was outside doing it, and half of the hood was in sun, and you could see that that portion crystallized a little bit faster than, but it wasn't an instant thing. So there's a little bit of working time, it seems.
Yeah. And direct sunlight, like now, or, probably 8 months of the year is going to be fine. But if it's, above 90 degrees outside, the car's been sitting outside all day, and then you have to take into account, is it a white car or a black car? The temperature difference, the surface temperature difference is like 25 degrees between a white car and a black car.
Yep.
So, you just kind of have to take all those factors into hand before using a product, for sure. Hans Closen, Mr. B is getting more and more famous. Better get his autograph now before everybody is going to hunt him down. So fun story that he didn't tell was when he mentioned that he walked into the storefront first before coming back to the training center, there was actually a fan in there of his.
Yes.
That what did he say? What did he
I
call you?
walked in and before I
Did
could
he
even
call you
like
Jay
ask if I
Balinski?
was in the right place, he was like, "It's JB
That's
from the
right.
podcast." And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I've never had a
That's
groupie
so funny.
before.
That's so fun. Like right off the bat, like
First thing,
second
first
one.
thing.
Yeah, second one. That's so great. So great. Just somebody shopping at the store. Yes, Bristol is photobombing the show. She has moved around several times now, and the dog is prancing around here somewhere. But yeah, Bristol is. They like the Bead Maker and coffee for some reason. They like it. Alex, I'm about to ask Eddie permission to go on my next Costco run. Hashtag the agent. Yep, Eddie. We love Eddie.
Good
Chris
morning.
Cross, GM. Good morning from Denver. Good morning. I wonder if Denver's cold right now. We're having an unusually warm winter. It's like 40 degrees, which is cold, but it's warmer than it normally is.
It's been like
David.
mid 50s the last few weeks, so I'm
Yeah,
happy with
that's
that.
not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. I would take 50. David,
Yeah.
what are the limitations of Crystal Wash and Iron Buster? So the limitations are really Iron Buster. It's actually pretty simple. Iron Buster is literally only going to attack actual iron particles. It's not going to remove any of the other environmental contaminants. Then Crystal Wash is going to attack all the other environmental contaminants, and
Clearly.
it's not going to do that great of a job at iron. So you kind of have to know, like for me, I know if a car has iron contaminants. I think that you kind of train your eye to see them. So a lot of SUVs, if they have a lot of that like chunky stuff on the back, I
Yeah.
kind of know that I want to use Iron Buster, and sometimes I'll use Iron Buster and Crystal Wash. So sometimes what I like to do on those, those back of the SUVs that I can tell they've been, driving to Salt Lake a lot or something, then I'll spray them down with Crystal wash them, and then I hit it back with Iron Buster to get the iron off. But I don't use Iron Buster on all that many cars because, like, for me locally, we don't have any railways. They're
Yeah.
all like in a different part of town. And so most of the vehicles I'm working on don't have rail dust. They have trees and everything from the air and dirt and dust. And we live in the foothills. And so, for me, it's all the other environmental stuff. So I don't use Iron Buster that often unless the person's driving on the freeway a lot. Then I may use the Iron Buster because they might be getting those iron particles from semi trucks and things like that. So I just use which one I feel like is right for that car, and I can just kind of tell.
And you get to
Um,
know your return customers and you
yeah,
know their driving
yeah,
patterns or what they use this vehicle for, so you
yeah,
kind of already know your
yeah,
plan of attack when they come
yep,
in.
yeah, yeah. And really, as far as wheels go, 95% of the time, Crystal Wash is going to be enough for me to help just break away that brake dust. That's what we're trying to do.
Mhm.
But then sometimes if the wheels have gone too long, then I might have to break out the Iron Buster. But because I'm washing inside, I would prefer to not use Iron Buster because it makes all that purple mess. But yeah, there's times I have to grab it for sure. For sure. Like BMWs, I just go straight to Iron Buster.
Yeah.
They have a different type of mess, and same with
Mhm.
like Mini Coopers. I have a Mini Cooper, and I often will go straight to Iron Buster on my Mini Cooper, even though has like 100 miles on it. But whatever comes off those brake pads is like glue.
Yes.
So yeah, I just kind of decide, which one makes sense for that case. And sometimes I use both. And if you are going to use both, always do the Crystal Wash first. Get the majority of that contamination off there so that the Iron Buster can really get in there and do its job.
Mhm.
Yep. All right. Pianist
Good
East
morning.
Bay. Steven, good morning.
Glad to see the
Speaking
water
of,
pump is back up and running.
yes, yes, I heard like the pump went out or something.
It seemed like pretty
That's
early on,
so
but
great.
it was a
Yeah,
quick fix, it seemed.
so crazy. Luke, hey, if I can get a new box label, that would help me from having to fight Bob for it. I'll see what I can do. I'm sure that we can find a box label. I do remember several being printed. We'll see what we can do.
He was very passionate about that box label.
That is so funny. I missed that. Alex Stewart says, have an absolute video coming out this week. That's awesome.
We love when
Awesome.
Alex puts
Awesome.
out a video.
Yes.
They're few and
They're the
far
best.
between, but
They're
it's
so
always a
great.
good time.
Yep. So great. I miss the ones where he would walk out of his garage and be somebody else. I miss those.
Yes.
I need to bring those back. Those
2024,
were good.
Alex.
Yeah. Luke Berge. I don't like the smell of Iron Buster, but it doesn't bug me. Yeah, that's basically how I feel. Like I don't think it's horrible by any means, but
It's
I
a
wouldn't say that I
necessary evil.
Yeah, I mean I definitely wouldn't say that I like it.
Yeah.
Doer has a video, Jamie the cleaner. So great.
They're such
I
good
can't wait
hype
to see
men
it.
for each other.
Yes, they are. They're each other's biggest fan. It's great. Jonathan T, hello. Is the new Inspiration Radiance really 6 ounces to a gallon? So this
Good
is causing
question.
quite the buzz. Yeah, it's causing quite the buzz. Joey, have you gotten to use Radiance yet
I have
or
not
no?
yet. I just saw
Okay.
Jamie's video on it. So that was my
All
first
right.
like
Yeah.
intro
Yeah.
to it.
So Radiance, the label, because it always, this product's been around for a long time, right? We moved it into the Inspiration family because that's where it makes sense. So there is a lot of products that Dave made years ago that were for one thing, and as detailing has evolved, we've realized that some of these products work really great for a different kind of non-intended purpose of what it was originally made for. So Radiance was originally created as a luxury wash and wax of sorts, right? And so the formulation was tweaked a little bit and we moved it into the Inspiration family. So the label says 6 ounces to a gallon. I feel like that's a lot. I don't use it at that dilution, so I would say, play with it and see what mark you like. I think that that's the dilution for like, a lot of soap that's going to leave behind a lot of protection. I think this was probably made when it was thinking of like, okay, what do we have that can really leave behind some protection? So that's putting a lot of soap on the surface with the intent of leaving behind protection. I
Yeah.
don't really think that that's necessary nowadays. And so, the one thing that I do when I use Radiance, I like to use it every couple months. So I don't use it often. I like it for a good reset. I like it when I want to do that kind of luxury pampering wash to my car. If I had a customer that was on like 3 month maintenance washes or something, I might use it in that instance. But what I do is I put like 4 ounces in my foam cannon and I only put 2 ounces in my bucket. Because the thing is if you're foaming it on, which Radiance was never meant to be used through a foam cannon.
Yeah.
It can be, but it's going to be a little bit different of an experience. It's going to be a very wet foam. But what I think is cool is I use it in a foam cannon because I like it clings really well and you can actually see the dirt like pulling off in it and kind of becoming encapsulated. So I like to put a heavier amount in my foam cannon and then it's sticking to the surface and that's where you're going to get all your lubrication from.
Yep.
So you don't really need that much in your bucket, right? You have got plenty of lubrication on the surface, you've got plenty of product on the surface, so you don't need to put another 6 ounces in your bucket by
So
any
maybe try
means.
to split that 6 between,
Yeah,
like you said, the foam cannon and figure out which works best for
yeah,
you.
yeah. And then if you're just doing a straight up, bucket wash, I mean, try it out at like 4 ounces. And, the one thing that I will say though is when we're talking about how much of a product we're using and some people are concerned about cost, but still the price point of Radiance is still significantly less than maybe some of the other foaming soaps out there. So you kind of have to take that into consideration that, yes, we may be using a higher concentration of it, but it's not necessarily costing us more at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because I think some of the other products out there that, have a significant price tag on the gallon, it is because they're more concentrated.
Mhm.
And this product was developed quite a while ago and it's so great. It's truly a great product that, how much we use has never really bothered me. Because I like to put more in my foam
Yeah.
cannon, but I personally like to use it through a foam cannon, but I put the majority in the foam cannon.
And like you said, it's more of a luxurious wash, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
So using a little bit extra, it's not your
Yeah.
daily soap. So using a little
Right.
extra every now and then, I don't
Yeah.
personally see an issue with it.
Yeah, yeah. It's kinda like for me being a girl, it's kinda like, when I do like a hair mask or, something else on my face, like it's a little pampering and it costs a little bit more, but you don't do it all that often.
Exactly.
It's when you feel like you need that little bit of extra pampering. And the
Exactly.
one thing I will say about Radiance is my car looks 100% different when I use Radiance over any of the other soaps. Obviously, my car always looks great, but it's like
Yeah.
that you're like, "Whoa," it's like almost glowing. So, when I just feel like I want that, you know, extra pop. On the red, I use Radiance.
I don't know what it is about PNS products, but every time I use them on my wife's Mini Cooper, which is chili
Hmm.
red, it like
Hmm.
the red gets this new glow to it.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know if
yeah.
you guys like specifically test on red paint, but it does a number on red paint. It looks really good.
Yeah, so my Jeep is red. So yes, it does get tested a lot on red. So I remember when Absolute came out, that was one of the things where I called Dave and I was like, "What's going on here?" I'm like, "I wash my car all the time with rinseless
Yeah.
wash." And I turned around and went, "What just
Yeah.
happened?" And so yeah, super fun.
That was my reaction the first time I used Dream Maker on
Yes,
the red paint, and I
yep,
pulled it out in the sun, and I was like, "Whoa." I
yeah,
could see,
yeah.
like, why this is used in Monterey.
Yes. Well, we'll have to get you some radiance because you'll see what I'm talking about on the red paint for sure. You'll just go, wow, that just looks totally different. It's really,
Awesome.
really cool. Yep. All right, Alex coming in with anyone asking for Swirl Killer coffee for Christmas. Always. So the Swirl Killer coffee is always a popular Christmas item. If you haven't tried Swirl Killer coffee, I am what's the word? Bougie.
Yes.
And so I
I've
don't
learned
make
that you don't make coffee at home.
I don't make coffee at home, but my husband likes the Swirl Killer coffee, and I know Swirl Killer coffee is very popular.
Is it a light roast? Like, is it strong?
Uh, Shoot, I don't know. I think it is
I'm
pretty
asking the
strong.
person who doesn't make coffee at
Yeah,
home.
I think it's pretty strong.
Okay.
I think it's pretty strong. Yeah. Alex with the shout
Shout out
out
to
to
Coley.
Coley. She's so great. So great. All right, Luke Berge, can't wait for the tour of Jamie's office at PNS since he's getting Tony's job.
The nice office. I saw the blueprints.
Yes. Yep. So funny. Jamie the cleaner. Woo for the new segment. Yes, we kind of
Tea with
powwowed
Tony.
on
I
that
like
while we were
that.
there. Yeah, tea with Tony. Oh gosh. All right, Gabriel. Hi, Gabriel. Do you all, as shop owners, still use Envy as a final step? Because I really love it and it does bring back that little extra gloss. So I don't do a lot of multi-step corrections, so I don't use Envy too often. But what I do use Envy for is on coated cars that need a little fixing. If they've got some like car wash marring or something, Envy is great for that. I use Envy the most for high spots, which I don't get a ton of high spots on the paint, but I have a really bad habit of getting high spots on glass. So if I'm, during my final inspection, if I find where I accidentally swiped across some glass, I grab some Envy and it takes it right off. But Envy is awesome if you're doing that, final jeweling polish. Envy is an amazing, amazing product. So I do use it. I just don't use it often as a final step. I'm using it for kind of coating maintenance. Jamie the Cleaner, shout out to Kyle's Boat and RV. It's a real sleeper. Absolutely. Absolutely. Single stage paint, Kyle's Boat and RV is the way to go for sure. I don't know if you guys can hear that buzzing, but I can. All right. Alex, for those that need to know, green is dry, orange is wet, gray is medium in the foamer, but keep Absolute out of there. Great answer. Great answer. Interesting. I guess I've never known that. That's really interesting.
I've never changed the color tip on it.
I just
I'm
I
happy with
just
what it produces right out of the
yeah.
box.
I guess I've never realized there was different tips. Mine just has a purple one, and I've just always left the purple one on there.
There's like, I think it's like the one that goes inside, like from the pickup straw. There's a little tip
Oh,
in there that will change the wetness of
oh,
the foam.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe I have seen those.
It's
I
those
just hook
extra
mine
parts
up.
that you probably just toss away when
Right.
you take everything out of the box.
I just go, doesn't this thing come ready to use? I don't
Yeah.
want to think about stuff. All right. Ethan says, I turned my IK Pro 12 into a multi. Now I need to revert it because I just bought a keg for rinseless. So yeah, I've heard about this conversion situation. I don't know anything about it.
It's like the dark web of detailing.
That's so funny. Well, good. So now they have them. Look at Tony.
I'm coming in hot. No, my original claim to fame on the internet was like 5 years ago. I converted my
Mm.
multi Pro 12 foamer excuse me, the foamer into a multi.
You're the reason.
Nice.
Um, I'm one of the reasons, and it was real funny because the other podcasts will get asked this question like, how do you do it? And they maybe can't officially answer because they sell IK products. But
I
they
think I
would
know who you're
just
talking
hint.
about.
Yeah. But they would just hint, like, go to the Facebook group and search it. And there's a video of me turning it into it non-destructively, I might add.
Mhm.
But there's a little on those colored tips, since we're talking about it, which I guess the point of them is like maybe you want dry foam if you're going to use it on the interior of the car, which I did play with a long
Mhm.
time ago, using Express in one in a foamer and
Interest
like expressing a whole door.
Okay,
Um, but
interesting.
there's a tiny, tiny hole on there, and I just plugged it with electrical tape, and it turns the whole thing into a multi sprayer. So
Wow, okay,
Wow.
it's that easy.
interesting.
I will tell you how to do it here unofficially. But yeah, anyways.
It always seemed like a very, like, difficult process to do, but to know that it's
Mhm.
just a little bit of electrical tape, that's, it's less daunting.
Yeah, that is awesome. So Eddie back with the legend is holding up, but requires decon for sure. For sure. Alex, the only salt Joey deals with is on his steaks.
Or the salt from Eddie.
Yes, yes, Eddie is a little salty, a little bit salty. Superado says, I don't know, Alex. Eddie seems, yep, a little
There we
salty.
go.
Always. Always. That's funny. Eddie, legend does the best to answer the dude's question per my test in Idaho. Yep. Idaho puts everything to the test. Coley B, I had no idea what I was getting myself into at that
I
moment.
wish you could have saw her face when he yelled, "It's JB." She was like,
Like, really?
"Who is this guy?" Yeah.
Here we go. That's so funny. Crisscross, it's 28 here. Burr. I think it's might think my screen shut off. It's probably only that here, but I don't go outside for a while. I don't go outside till it's like 35 or 40. All right. So crystal wash before iron buster. Yes, if you're going to use both. Yep. Yep, for sure. Because you want to put crystal wash on dry, right?
Yep.
And then you can rinse the car and then you can go ahead and go back over with iron buster. Iron buster does okay on an already wet car. So for sure. I don't know what that meant. Oh,
Tempest.
I was like, Terry, can we talk a little bit more about Tempest? So Tempest is from the Chemtrol line. It is an actual degreaser. It's highly dilutable depending on your needs. I use a lot of Tempest. I really, really like Tempest, especially this time of year. So what I use it for most is fender wells. So I will usually pre-spray all the underneath and fender wells with Tempest. I don't really use it on tires because I still just prefer brake buster. So I'm spraying all my fender wells. I might use it on the engine bays, but I actually like mud buster a little bit better for engine bays. I also use a lot of Tempest on all the rubber floor mats. So it's a degreaser, but what I've noticed is it never causes like the bleaching that maybe some other APCs or
Yeah.
degreasers can. So I love Tempest because I can spray it on those mats and I almost don't even have to scrub them. I can just pressure wash them off. It does such a great job at loosening dirt and stuck on stuff that I find that it saves me a step because I don't have to scrub the plastic mat.
Yeah.
So I do go through a lot of Tempest. That's not to say that, there's a lot of other products that do, a great job as well, Mudbuster, EnviroClean, but I just really like it for those actual greasy parts. It's really, really good. And I do like that it's highly dilutable. Mine's obviously running through my Chemtrol, but it's a really great product. It's really, really great. I find that, there's nothing I've ever felt like I couldn't use it on, but it is a really strong product. So you kind of get the best of both worlds there.
Anything that'll cut through grease for me and save my
Yeah,
brushes or my towels or
right.
any of that from
Yep.
getting super nasty,
Yeah,
I'm all about it. So
absolutely.
let the chemical do the
Absolutely.
work.
Yep. Totally. Totally. G. Davis. Joey is the Michael Strahan of detailing shows. He's everywhere. Yeah.
I show up where I'm needed.
That's so funny, Michael Strahan. All right, Jamie, it's the darkest of roast. Nice. Does Jamie drink coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
I've never seen a man drink a hot Starbucks faster than the one that you brought him that
Well,
day.
that's what I think. He drinks it so fast. I don't realize he's drinking coffee.
Oh,
That's
I
so
was like,
funny.
he must have like a steel line throat or something
Okay.
because
Okay.
It went down fast.
That's so funny. Keith Duplessis coming in with the dark roast. Serious coffee for serious detailers. Yes, it'll get you going in the morning.
Yeah, I
For
often
sure.
get my wife will often come out and realize that all I've been drinking while I'm out in the garage is coffee, and she'll be like,
Mhm.
"Here's some water,
Oh my
just a
gosh,
little
that's so
hydration."
funny. Gabriel says Swirl Killer is a little bit more like espresso than regular coffee. Yes. So for those that don't know that we have the Swirl Killer coffee, go pick up some when you get your Jamie the Cleaner Clean Maker bottle because it's
Code Jamie 10.
yes, because we have it on our PNS website too. Super fun. G Davis, I always thought Tony's internet fame was from the Riverboat Casino ventriloquism.
Not many people know about that part of Tony's life.
I didn't know about that. Joey B Bat Signal.
We could do
That
this.
that was from a unknown source. Maybe that's from Tony. Jamie the Cleaner says Swirl Killer is the only thing that keeps me going.
He was tired
Nice.
for about a week and a
Yeah.
half, I feel, after his trip.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
his time was all messed up.
Yeah. He got stuck in Denver and then it was
Mhm.
just a couple crazy days. And yeah, I don't think he
Poor
slept
guy.
for about 5 days.
He just cannot have a smooth travel day.
Nope. Nope. It's his MO. He likes to have the travel problems. EC Details, which is Eddie.
Salty
Hashtag
bear.
salty bear. Yep. He is our salty bear. We love you, Eddie. Thanks for
We
loaning
we
us Joey
knew,
for the day.
yeah, we knew Jamie was doomed when on the flight in. He's like, no problems, everything went
Yeah.
smooth,
Oh
every
yeah.
flight was on time,
Right.
and we're like,
Yeah.
Wait till you
you
try to
just
leave.
wait.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops. Oops.
Well, that's the end of our comments and questions this morning. I don't know if
Very
we have
cool.
anything left to ask to Joey, but where can everybody find us next? We mentioned, what was it, the 8th of
Yeah, I think
January?
we'll do January 8th will be our next episode. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and skip that week because it would have been the first and we would have had to do it on the second. We tried that last year and it just didn't work out real great. So, looking ahead at our January schedule, it just works better for it to be on the 8th. And so definitely we will see you guys in 3 weeks. Coming up, we've obviously got the year end. Do keep in mind, I don't know the exact dates that PNS is closed, but they usually close, I mean, estimate somewhere between the 23rd and the 3rd, the second or third until they open up again. So if you do place orders during those times, it may be a delay on the shipping because they do close, to give the warehouse workers breaks with their family for the holiday. So if you want to get your orders in, I would do it this week for sure. Um, what else do we have coming up? We've got MTE coming up next month. That's going to be exciting. That's kind of our next big event is
Yep.
MTE. So we hope to see a lot of you there. Joey, what do you have? You have your podcast. Are you still on your podcast?
As
You,
far as I know, I haven't been fired yet. I do still
I
have
don't
a
know.
job there. Eddie's looking for a new co-host,
new
so maybe I
co-host,
won't
uh-huh.
be safe. But we have the Keep It Real podcast. It's on the EC
Mhm.
Details YouTube channel. Next week, our guest is actually Delaney,
Oh yes, yep. On the
so that
28th,
should be
that'll be so
exciting.
fun. Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
we just like to maybe ask some tougher questions that
Hmm.
some other people won't will
Hmm.
dodge or won't dive into. So we like to
Yeah.
keep the questions hot on that
Yep.
No,
show.
nobody keeps it real better than Delaney. I've been
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I know.
We need.
Well, I've had to do the preface like, okay, but like you can't actually say everything. She's so funny. She's
it's
she's
it's
great. You guys
Eddie's
all
channel, it's not mine. So if it gets demonetized, I don't care.
yeah. 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 It'll
Worth it.
be it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. Thank you for having her on. That'll be super fun. But otherwise, everybody have a fantastic holiday. Have a very Merry Christmas with your families. I know we are looking forward to it. Um, and yeah, I can't believe the year's already over.
Yeah, wild.
Crazy,
That's it.
crazy. All right. Well, thanks, guys. You were
Thank
awesome.
Yeah,
you.
everyone. See you next year.
That's right.